Okay, welcome to part 2 of this week's assignment. After you've gotten Java installed and working, we're going to see if you can create a really simple program. So what you will start by doing is creating a new file in some folder that you know where that is, right? So I have it in my folder under Winter 2016 examples. I created calculation.java, and I just did new text document and named it whatever.java. And it'll complain to you, but of course you want to change it. You know what you're doing. So make sure to name it something that is going to be relevant to what you're doing, because that's going to help you organize your files later on. It's not super important here, and I think the assignment might tell you specifically what to name it. I don't really care, but it's important that it starts with a capital letter, because that's going to translate into the class name, and classes always start with a capital letter. So file name, it needs to match the class name. Java standard says that starts with a capital letter. So you can see I've imported something that I'll be needing. Imports in Java allow you to use code that's part of the standard Java library, or code that somebody else wrote, or code that's in another part of your program somewhere else, right? So I'm using java.util.scanner, and this class was written by the Java developers, and it's going to allow me to do certain things. In this case, create a new scanner and call the methods on it that are going to get me the values that the user is going to input. So imports are super important. I think this might be the only one you need for this assignment. Then you'll have your class declaration. Public, it needs to be public because it's got the main method, which Java needs to be able to access, which means this is kind of a shared class. Anyone can use it. I'm naming it that this is a class, and the class name again is calculation, matches the file name. And then these are delimiters, curly braces, whatever you want to call them. They're delimiters. And I'm going to open up the class here and close it down here. This is Notepad++. It's my text editor of choice. If you have NetBeans, NetBeans is a great way to do this. We'll be using NetBeans throughout this class. But any text editor will do, even Notepad or Vim or whatever it is you want. So, and again, our simple little Java application, we're just creating a single method. The main method, this is the method that kicks everything off in Java. And it has to have the specific signature. It has to be public, static, void, be named main. Again, Java method name starts with a lowercase letter. And then it has an array of string as the arguments. Again, don't worry about this. You can just copy and paste for now. We'll talk about functions later, functions/methods. And then here's something that's important in Java is creating new variables and creating new primitive variables versus object variables. So creating a new variable in Java, you tell it what type of variable this is. This is a scanner type. The name of my variable is called in. Anytime I refer to this throughout my application, it's going to be named in. I can call it whatever I want. But again, Java convention says this starts with a lowercase and it's camel case, so I can call it in variable, right? And now whenever I refer to it, I have to refer to it as in variable. And a variable means it can change, right? So if I wanted to make in something else, I could. Not a different type, but a different value. And then this, in Java, and every programming language, is not equals, it is gets. It is the assignment operator. I will always refer to this as gets, because I'm saying I've created a new variable called in. It's of type scanner, and it gets the value over on this right side. I'm assigning whatever is on the left side, the value on the right side. In this case, it's a new scanner, and so the new keyword is important in Java. It's how you create new objects. So it's a new scanner, and I'm passing an argument into the constructor. Again, don't worry too much about that. We'll get to that much later. And then I'm going to output something to the command window. And again, just copy. This is an example of a method call. So I'm calling a method called print that's on system.out, and I'm passing this as the argument, and that's going to be passed into the method, and the method's going to do with it whatever it needs to do. And then you can see here I'm declaring another variable. This is a double. A double in Java and a lot of programming languages are not whole numbers, so like decimals. So like 1.3, 4.6, all those decimals, we refer to them as doubles. Integers are single are rounded precision numbers, but they're not integers, they're ints. So there's double, int. These are primitive types. You can see this type starts with a capital S. It's an object. This type's a primitive type. Starts with a lowercase, and it's primitive. It's like kind of the lowest thing you can get. There's nothing but a number in here. Object can have a whole bunch of numbers and a whole bunch of things. Don't concern yourself too much with this. There's a lot to learn. The main purpose of this assignment is to get you familiar with a little bit of Java, kind of see what it looks like, kind of try things out on your own, and at least get Java working on your machine. That's really important. So getting the next double that's entered by the user, I'm assigning that to the variable width, and then I prompt them to enter a height. I get the next double, the next decimal they enter, and assign that to the variable height. So now I have two variables assigned, or two variables with values. Okay, third variable named area, which is also a double. I do width times height, and that's an asterisk. And then I output the total area. And again, this little plus is concatenation, so I'm going to say total area is, well, output this plus this variable, which is declared up here. So we can give this a try here. I need to compile this first, and that's why we need Java C. So in my folder that has my .java file, I'm going to shift right click. There should be an open command window option. I'll select that. And then in here, I'm going to type Java C and then the name of my file, which is calculation.java. So it worked. If it doesn't work, it'll tell you exactly what's wrong. It says on line 15 there was an error, a semicolon expected, and it even points to where it's expecting that. Compiler errors are usually pretty reliable, so looks like it compiled again when I added that semicolon back in. Every line has to end with a semicolon as well. That's something important, except for lines where you open up new statements. See, there's a delimiter, closing delimiter. Okay, so now to compile it, we can run it by typing Java and then calculation, no.class, just the word calculation. And you can see it prompts me to enter a width. Do 4, enter height, 5, and the total area is 20. That's correct, so that's great. So this assignment asks you to, I think, capture two variables and then do some sort of calculation and output them. I'm going to double check that really quickly. Yeah, so that's right. You will just need to capture two variables, do some calculation, and output it. The reading this week is also kind of in and of itself an assignment, but there's nothing to turn in there. The only thing you'll be turning in is your modified version of the reading, which is the actual assignment, which is do your own calculation, capture two variables instead of one, which is what this example is. So just for clarification, please do the reading. There's so much more there that I didn't cover in this, and it'll hopefully give you a better idea of kind of what variables are in Java and everything, and kind of how Java looks and works, and it'll get you set up. But then once that's done, you're going to copy that file or create a new one or change it or do whatever you want so you get two variables, and then you're just going to submit that assignment. If you have any problems compiling, setting up Java, anything, please post to the developer forum. I will respond as quickly as I can. Other students might respond. You're probably not the only one having the problem. All of that good stuff. So developer forum is the place to go for questions. If you're not getting a response there, please just email me. I may have missed it. And then hopefully we'll get this assignment done pretty quickly. and get into some more fun things with Java. So yeah, that's about it for the assignment. Should be pretty simple. Have a good week and good luck.